Okay, FA Cup third round continuing. Manchester City were at home against Huddersfield Town. Very similar in how this game played out to how the Chelsea Preston game played out last night, except Man City did score some goals in the first half. But there was a period in the first half where Man City have all the ball, and all they're doing is passing the ball around with no penetration in behind in front of the Huddersfield Town defence. That is just set up to defend and counter attack at pace. Um, and there were a few little flashes from Huddersfield that they had a bit of pace to get in behind that very high defensive line of Man City if the ball was turned over and they could keep hold of it, which they really couldn't. And that was Huddersfield's problem all day, is when they got the ball, they could hold it for, 2, 3 passes, and then the play would break down and it's Man City to build the possession all over again. But for the first 30 or so minutes, Man City, I mean, they've got a lot of ball, they're controlling the possession. Alvarez had the only shot on target in the first 30 minutes from distance, which was key. They were doing everything for the first two-thirds of the field, and then they're not getting players in the box. There's no player making a lung-busting run to get in the box, to get on a cross, to put pressure on the centre-backs, to make the centre-backs think twice about what they're doing. Because if there's a player running in behind you, you're going to be focused on two things rather than the play in front. And then they finally start doing that. And there's the 2 goals in the first half in the space of 3 minutes from Phil Foden and Julian Alvarez. Now, this is where Man City finally started taking one-on-one players on, rather than just the pass and move, tiki-taka, antiseptic, I'm going to sleep football. They started, a player might get the ball and actually run with it for 3-4 seconds and actually take defenders on and pull defenders even further out of position. When they finally started doing that, Foden gets his first 2 goals on 33 minutes, and at the Alvarez finish, that's a poacher's finish. That is a poacher's finish. It's not. Is it the cleanest finish? No. Does it come from a miss hit shot from another player? Yes, but he's in the right place at the right time because he's got himself into the box and he's creating problems for the defenders who haven't reacted well from that first goal from Foden on 33 minutes. They score again on 36 minutes, and then after that, for the rest of the first half, it reverted back to we're going to pass it around. And there's going to be no penetration. Now, obviously, they are missing Haaland. De Bruyne came off the bench. So 2 key components of how this team play. One's not even in the squad, and one's on the bench. But apart from that spell where they scored their 2 goals, there's too much of passing in front of Huddersfield. Now, Huddersfield, as I say, had a few little flashes of, hey, they could catch Man City with a high line. They just could not get that second or third pass to feet into space, the ball in behind. They couldn't just quite get that. If they had done that, Man City may have thought twice about their slow, ticky-tacky pass move, aimless build-up. And that's one thing that I do criticise with Man City is, yeah, they have a lot of this nice passing, and they're not getting players in the box. And that high defensive line, which can catch them out. That's the 2 criticisms I have of Man City. Second half is different. Second half is completely different. Because from the very first whistle in the second half, they were making those runs in the box. They were pulling the defenders all over the place. And there were actual crosses and chips, and they mixed it up more. And they were just, they scored 3 goals, pretty even intervals in the second half. Bob, with his goal, again, they're starting to, that's a cheeky little chip, Mike. That is a cheeky little chip. There's a slight deflection on it. But they're starting to pick up the speed with the build-up play that they didn't have as much in the first half, even with all the 80+% possession. They were doing it sometimes just passing. Second half, they're passing with pace. There's players actually just willing to go on a run with the ball more often, take that defender on, pull them out of their defensive positioning, which then creates further space for that, that link-up play, that pass and move, and then go on the run again. Bob's goal, 57 minutes, was cheeky. The build-up play is fantastic for all these goals, but the finish is cheeky. Foden's second goal comes from, again, De Bruyne is now on the field. It comes from a corner, short corner, and he's making a run from deep. He is still outside the box when he hits that low and hard, but it's been done at pace. It's been done with assertiveness and pace. That was something that was lacking for a huge portion of the first half, and it's a brilliant finish from distance, which was fantastic. Doku's goal. I mean, he's had injuries as well. That you know, De Bruyne is involved in the build-up. It's a brilliant pass. And again, coming in from a deeper position into the box means you're creating more problems for the defence that's now disorganised. So this is where the second half Man City were fantastic. Huddersfield, well, they had a couple of chances at the other end. They actually were getting shots on target, testing Ortega. Um, yeah, I think Man City turned it up in the second half. If Man City had played like that from the first minute, we could have been looking at double figures with the way they just controlled the possession. If they attacked with pace and intensity from that first minute, we could have seen a bigger scoreline. Um, you know, I think Huddersfield had a game plan, and Man City played into that game plan for 25, 30 minutes. When Man City finally decided to come up with a plan B and attack slightly differently, still with all that passing possession, but doing it at a slightly higher pace and tempo, and with the runs coming in from deep and in behind, Huddersfield's defensive plan and counter-attacking plan could not cope with that. But a comfortable win for Man City. A couple of injury concerns coming out of the game, but I don't think anything overly serious. De Bruyne getting minutes is key. Obviously, they are waiting for Haaland to return, so that's going to be key how they manage De Bruyne's fitness. I mean, he doesn't look 100%, but he got a run out, and he is one of the best midfielders in the world. He is one of the best attacking, creative midfielders in the world. He can do a bit of defending as well, but he's primarily known for what he does going forwards up the field, not in a defensive context. He can do that as well, but his link-up play with other players, his distribution, his leadership. I think Man City have been missing that since he's been away from the team with injury. But as I say, they managed his minutes today. He had a big impact. The pace of the game actually went up when he came on the field. The pace of attacks went up. How the attacks formulated changed. But Foden, Grealish, I don't think they play in the right position, but Grealish had an impact. But he's always cutting into the middle of the field where he should be anyway. He's not a winger. He's playing in the wrong position for his skill set. Guardiola continues to do this because they've got too many central midfielders. That's a problem. Some of the younger players got some game time. Bob, obviously got his goal. Academy products are getting game time. And showing, that Man City's academy is now starting to bear more fruit, other than just Phil Foden and obviously back in the day Mika Riches. There are now other academy products starting to bear fruit and having impacts on games. So this was a good win for Man City, a comfortable win for Man City. Huddersfield, they've got other priorities. They're struggling in the Championship, obviously, and they're looking at trying to stay in the Championship and try and finish as high as possible in the Championship. Darren Moore. But there we go. Place your thoughts on the game below. Obviously, the big game, Arsenal-Liverpool, is coming up literally in about 15 minutes as I'm recording this video. That match will be kicking off. But what did you make of the game? Could Man City score more? I think they could. I think there is still some issues with this Man City side. Everyone thinks this Man City side is invincible and brilliant, all the trophies they've won. There are some glaring issues with their game that if Huddersfield, well, let's say a team in form and a team with a bit more confidence going forward and a bit more quality going forward, could have exploited. And Man City have fallen short in the FA Cup many times before. They've only won it 3 times since the Abu Dhabi money came in. Only twice with Guardiola. They actually don't have a real fantastic record in the FA Cup, considering all the other trophies they've won. This is the trophy they've won the least, apart from the World Club Championship. This is the trophy they've won the least. Out of all the dominance, they've dominated the Premier League, they've dominated the League Cup. FA Cup, slim pickings. Only 3 FA Cups in the last 15 years. Slim pickings, considering all the other stuff they've dominated. Could this be a year they go back to back? So there we go. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more content for you very, very soon.